Welcome to Love Your Life After Divorce, the podcast where you'll learn everything you need to know to rebuild your life after divorce from the inside out. Let's dive in. Hey there. As you can maybe hear from my voice, I have been sick. I'm actually on day 5 of COVID. And I have COVID for the first time ever, believe it or not. I really thought maybe I was just somehow magically immune to it, but apparently not. So the other day, I was feeling pretty miserable and I realized I had no medication at my house, no medicine besides just the normal Tylenol, Advil. I didn't have any cold and flu medicine, so put on my mask, went to the store with my hand sanitizer just to grab a little bit of medicine. But as I was driving, I was in my neighborhood and I have this neighborhood pool, this lawn, this big open space. And I saw people out there with their dog, throwing a frisbee, enjoying the sunny, beautiful day. I saw kids jumping in the pool, having a great time, the adults laying out on the chairs. And it just felt so incongruent with my own experience. Here I was in the car with fever, body aches, chills, a headache. I just wanted to be inside in a dark room in bed. And it just didn't seem right that I was feeling so terrible on this beautiful sunny day. And these other people were out here just living their best lives while I was suffering. Now, this instantly reminded me of how I felt when I was going through my divorce and I was depressed. I was walking around, going through the motions of life, but feeling like a shell of myself, like I was just dying on the inside. I was seeing other people enjoying their lives, going about their days, having no clue, a lot of them, what I was going through. Now, I'm generally a very optimistic and positive person, but I'm not being dramatic when I say this. It was really the darkest time of my life. And when I was in that space, I vividly remember a very specific night when I didn't have my kids, and one of my best friends invited me over to her house to play board games with her family. And I remember being reluctant to go, but feeling like it would probably be better for me than staying home alone and crying. And so I went. I went to their house, and this family is just one of the best families on the planet. They laugh a lot, they spend a lot of time together. They just have a lot of joy. And I remember being with them that night and laughing and it feeling so strange, like laughing was something that I wasn't very familiar with. And it kind of shook me in that moment to realize that. Like I remember how strange it felt to be laughing and how it made me realize that I wasn't laughing. I had not been laughing very much at all in my own life. But this laughter, this time that I had with one of my favorite families, it was a glimmer. It was a little positive moment that made me feel better. I remember thinking in that moment, oh, this is how I could be feeling. This is how I'm not feeling very often, and this is how I want to be feeling. And so this whole idea of glimmers is what I want to talk to you about today. I don't know if you've ever heard the term, but glimmer is kind of a new term in pop psychology. And I've heard about it recently in a couple of different areas, and it's just caught my attention, and I knew I had to share it with you guys. So, glimmer is a term that was coined by a licensed clinical social worker named Deb Dana, and she specializes in treating complex trauma through regulating the nervous system. And so, according to Dana, glimmers are these tiny moments of goodness, small moments that make us feel calm or connected or peaceful or safe. They are little things we notice or experience that just make us feel better, even if we're feeling down or sad or angry or irritable in the moment. She talks about them as being the opposite of a trigger. Most of you are probably familiar with the term trigger, which is something that happens or an experience you have that causes a painful or a difficult emotion to flare up, or it reminds you of a past trauma or a hard time that you went through. Triggers can send your body into fight, flight, or freeze, which makes you feel tense, puts you on high alert. But glimmers do the opposite. They calm your nervous system down by making you feel safe or optimistic. So simply put, a glimmer allows you just to experience a little joy. And glimmers can be especially helpful when you're going through a really hard time, like a divorce, or experiencing a lot of painful emotions for whatever reason. So these small glimpses of peace or hope or joy can actually make a huge difference. When you experience a glimmer, it makes you pause. You may notice just a little spark of joy or energy in your body. Now, glimmers are different for everyone, but I just want to provide a few examples. A glimmer might be seeing your kid smile or laugh, hearing someone thank you for holding the door open for them, cuddling with your dog or your cat, seeing a beautiful flower, hearing a song that brings you joy or makes you tap your foot, enjoying a delicious meal, receiving a hug, or watching a beautiful butterfly flutter around. Now, these glimmers sound so small, and you may be wondering if they can really make much of a difference. But actually, they really and truly can. And let me explain why. When you have experienced trauma, and to be honest, divorce is traumatic for most people. Your mind and your body go into this state of hypervigilance when you've been through an experience like a divorce. You're looking around for danger. You're on guard for what's coming next. You kind of have this underlying feeling that something bad is just right around the corner. You may have a really hard time relaxing. You may feel super heavy or just on edge. And so glimmers can help counterbalance these reactions. They help shift your mind and your body to feelings of peace, contentment, and security. They remind you that life still contains goodness. Now, they don't erase the hard things that you're going through, but they just serve as a reminder that there's still good moments, even if you are experiencing a lot of hard things. Glimmers can serve as an anchor to help you feel more regulated and to help you remember that this is the life you're meant to live. The hard thing that you're going through is temporary, but the glimmer, that moment, that's really what you're meant to experience. And so I want to point out also here that when you're in a depressed state or you're going through something, maybe you've been through something traumatic or you're going through something like a divorce, sometimes you're actually resistant to experiencing glimmers. I don't know if you've gone through this, but I personally very well remember this. It's like you almost subtly tell yourself that you're supposed to be sad or angry or down, and that it's not okay to feel happy or optimistic or safe right now. And so I just want you to watch out for that because it is a dangerous thing to do. When you convince yourself that you don't have a right to be happy or you shouldn't have these small moments of joy or peace, then you can really spiral down and make it hard for yourself to come out. So I just wanted to note that. Now, glimmers are a little different for everyone. So first, it's important to figure out what your glimmers are. And once you figure them out, then you can effectively use glimmers to promote your own healing. So here are a few pointers to figure out what your glimmers are. Tip number 1 is at the beginning of each day, ask yourself, what glimmers might appear to me today? This just sets the stage for you to have some open eyes, some open ears, just to be aware of the potential glimmers that might show up for you. It just sets an expectation. It helps you pay attention to any little spark of joy that you might get throughout the day. What makes you smile? Or what makes you feel a little warm inside? What do you see or experience around you that makes you think that maybe things really are going to be okay? Tip number 2 is to put your phone down. You have to give yourself the time and space to actually notice what's around you by making sure that you're not always just looking down at your phone. If you're paying attention to what's around you in the present moment, then you're much more likely to notice glimmers. Tip number 3 is just to think about all of your senses, not just sight. Think about things you enjoy smelling, like certain foods, candles, incense, freshly cut grass. What do you hear that brings you joy? Music is an obvious one. Laughter, your cat purring, your dishwasher running. That's right. Don't make fun of me for that. My ex-husband used to make fun of me for this because at night when we were sitting down watching TV, if he could hear the dishwasher, he would think it was an annoying sound. And I remember saying to him, "Oh, I really like the sound of the dishwasher because it signals to me that I've cleaned the kitchen, I've loaded the dishwasher, it's running, it's cleaning the dishes on its own while I just sit here and relax." And that's a great example of how can be much different from person to person. Touch can also be a big opportunity for glimmers. One of my favorite things is when my daughter plays with my hair. Oh, it just feels so nice and relaxing and just feels amazing. So once you have a good idea of what your glimmers are, the next step is just to start being intentional about putting those glimmers into your life. So here are a few ideas of how to do this. When you notice a glimmer, just jot it down. Have a little list of glimmers. If you're not able to make a note in the moment, at the end of the day, ask yourself, what glimmers did I notice today? And just write those down, either on paper, old school, or an app on your phone, but just make a list of glimmers so that you can develop your own little personal glimmer catalog that you can refer back to when you're maybe not noticing as many yourself, or you need a little pick-me-up, or you want to intentionally put a glimmer into your life. You can also do this, remember glimmers, by taking pictures of them. Create a little glimmer folder of photos on your phone that you can refer back to. Another idea is to have a glimmer buddy. So find a friend who could also use some more joy in their life and agree to share glimmers with each other. Either as you experience them throughout the day, you can come up with an emoji that just signals to your friend that you just saw a glimmer or experienced a glimmer. Or you can just, have a once a week time where you get together and talk to them about the glimmers that you've both experienced. And then after you have noticed, after you're aware of what your glimmers are, whether that means you've just taken mental notes and you understand and see what those little glimmers of joy or peace are for you, or you've written them down or created a picture or file folder. Once you know what those are for you, then it's time to create those moments for yourself. If you know that you love flowers and butterflies, then get some for your backyard and spend time outside each day. Or if you don't have the resources for that, go to a nearby park that has flowers and butterflies and just sit and enjoy the scenery. If spending time with friends really lifts your spirits, then be intentional about making that happen. If you love the smell of a certain candle, then make sure you burn that candle pretty frequently. So even though glimmers are small moments taken on their own, once you start to notice and seek out more glimmers, there is really a cumulative effect. They truly do build on each other, and they can actually have a very big effect. If you're intentional and you use them strategically, they can help you shift your mindset. They can help you realize that you can enjoy life right now, even if you're going through something really hard. Have a great week and stay healthy. Did you know that there are 5 distinct stages to healing after divorce? Which stage are you currently in? And how can you successfully move to the next stage? Find out by getting the free roadmap so you can heal and move on faster after divorce. Simply go to my website, angiewilsoncoaching.com, and click Get the Free Roadmap.